Cutting Limits macht nix mehr her. Bin schon wieder pleite.
Hello and herzlich willkommen zum Fresse, the WXW review podcast in English, except this time we're going to be previewing. I'm Ian Hamilton, joined once again by Mike Kilby. And Mike, as they say, Carat is new, I'm Malam Yar. How's it going?
It's all good. I remember back in 2020, standing there on the final day, and thinking, oh, I wish I could never hear that song for the rest of my life. And then, like the monkey paw in The Simpsons, March 2020 happened, and I very, very nearly never did hear it again. But
We watched out last year, but not quite as much fanfare, I don't think.
Yeah, no. That's a dodgy track, isn't it?
Eurotrash at its finest, I guess. If you those who not quite into Europop, I guess you'd say. I mean, you're a fan of Eurovision. I guess it's a kind of track
Big
that
fan.
You associate with it, but
it's big fan. I'm a big fan of Eurovision, but that's like something that doesn't get out of the national qualifiers.
Well, My Lovely Horse level, I guess.
Like, that would get slaughtered in Melodifestivalen. It wouldn't even get the national vote. Yeah, it's it does have a bit of a nice twinge. I think when I did hear it at Carat last year, I was like, that's good. It's good to be able to hear it, even if I think it's absolute dross.
Normality's back, and again, this is the first Carat without any kind of restrictions, which last year was normality, but we all had masks on. This year, I mean
we're at war, unprecedented energy crisis.
Can't buy tomatoes for love and the money in this country.
Yeah,
please.
I mean, yeah, we have. I'm filling my bag up with peppers on the way back. So, yeah, it's. But 16 Carat is a time for forgiveness. It's a time for magic, and I can't wait to, when we're ever so close now, and yeah, I can't wait to get stuck in.
In about a week's time, we'll either be in Oberhausen or getting ready to head over there. 17th, 16 Carat Gold. Try saying that 10 times fast. And it's the first one they're doing with the title on the line. Of course, the last episode we did, Lionel's made to qualify or he'd lose the title. Well, he lost the title. So, the winner of this is going to be the new Unified World Wrestling Champion. And we're not going to go through every single match because after round one, it's all blind draw anyway. So, it's pointless. But when you look at a field of 16 and over half making the Carat debuts, and just by that alone, it's wide open.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very sort of unique lineup this year. Lots of unproven packages. I don't think there's an obvious winner this year. I've been looking through the field, and I can kind of, at least with the things which happened in Bielefeld, which obviously we can talk about. Obviously, Vaniel not being in the tournament means that it's. I think if he had qualified, we'd kind of been going, well, he's probably going to get to the semis. I can't really point at anybody and going, yeah, I think they're getting to the final. Really, it's completely wide open, and it's a lot of very, very unique and strange, strange combinations to be had. Yeah, over half the field, it's incredible, really.
Just going through the lineup of who's in, so we've got Fumino Yabe, because he was in last year, went out to Robert Rice in the first round. Ahura, first year in Carat. Francesco Akira, same. Tristan Archer, again, Carat debut.
Akira was meant to be in Carat last year, wasn't he?
Yep, and then was a knee injury, which was a precursor to him ending up in New Japan. So I guess all 12 ends while he comes back, a much bigger name than I guess he would have been a year ago.
Yes.
Akira, Tristan Archer, Ares, Mike DeVecchio, who we mentioned in the episode last week, replacing Jørn Simmons. So all those making their Carat debuts. In the case of Ares and Mike D, actual WXW debut. So fairy tale story there. Cry with them if they went all the way.
Nobody would make their debut, win a tournament, and then win the title like happened in October. Sorry, carry on.
Shigehiro Irie, of course, he's semi-finalist last year, losing to Jonathan Gresham. Commander debut, Maggot quarterfinal last year, losing to Lufisto. Metahan won in 2019 as Lucky Kid. Trey Miguel debut for WXW and Carat. Davey Richards was semi-finalist back in 2011. Very fun history box. Lawrence Roman, another debutante. Masha Slamovich, again her first Carat. Paige Tahani, quarterfinalist last year, losing to Gresham, and Axel Tischer, who won in 2014, losing to Chris Heal in the final. So, got a finalist, a winner, a couple of quarterfinalists, and a whole load of names. And if you'd asked me 2-3 weeks back, Jørn Simmons would have been maybe a comfortable bet, I'd guess you'd say. Maybe Tischer, but I know there's been a few saying Irie was like the romantic choice, but this is wide open.
Yeah, more importantly, I think for the context of the actual prize at the end of it, only 2 former champions. So there's a very, very high likelihood we will see somebody completely new with that belt at the end of it.
Of course, WXW in the past week so did announce all the first-round matches. We'll go for that when we start going through the cards, but yeah, it's 7 shows across 4 days in Oberhausen, Gelsenkirchen 2, 8th one account food shopping, but again, start off week tonight as we're recording this. Thursday 4 count sold out. So if you haven't got a ticket, I guess don't bother. It's probably the best way to phrase it. Inner Circle 13, 6:30 p.m. doors, 7 o'clock bell time. Nothing announced. I think the last few Inner Circles have all been like Mystery Vortex style shows anyway. So you kind of know who's going to be there. You might see, you definitely see some action, but in terms of who is going to be in those matches, probably not find out till the bell goes in. Knowing our luck, we'll post this tomorrow and they'll put the whole card up.
They'll announce the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, if you are going but you haven't got a ticket, rock up and sell some ice creams outside. You'll make a killing.
In the interval, yeah.
Yeah.
Or shorts for people who haven't taken them. Because I looked at the weather forecast earlier for Gelsenkirchen because I'm a nerd like that. Of course I have. And that forecast is trolling us.
Yeah, well, I have made it a bit of a bit saying, oh, it doesn't matter if it's 3 foot of snow. I'm still going in shorts. Well, you've looked at it, it's going to be 0 degrees and like heavy rain or something like that, isn't it?
So Gelsenkirchen on Thursday for Inner Circle, and again, how reliable these are. Got to change me this morning. High of 6, low of -1. If you are going in shorts, maybe take something a bit thicker for go over the top commute, because it might be a bit nippy coming back.
Yeah. I think it's that's going to be that's that. Well, it's heard me bait the world with the prospect of me getting my legs out. So it's I'm still doing it. I don't care if it's 3. If it's 3 foot of snow outside, it's still going to be roasting indoors. So you have to. Shorts are about.
Maybe not venue for taking your thick winter jumpers or anything like that.
No.
Anyway, that's the Thursday night. Then, of course, 16 Carat Gold Night 1 kicks off on Friday. 6:30 doors, 8 o'clock bell time. We usually give a lot longer lead time for day 1 and get people get the tickets and all that sorted out. Not going to do predictions, but your first round matches: Ares against Commander, your typical Lucha guys match. Francesco Akira, Lawrence Roman, Masha Slamovich against Fumino Yabe, rematch from Inner Circle this past September, technically, for Tag Festival. Tristan Archer against Mike D, Trey Miguel against Paige Tihani, Shigehiro Irie against Metahan, Margaret versus Sahura, which just a match I'm a little bit surprised, but we can talk about in a sec, and Axel Tischer against Davey Richards. And I know the Mark and Met on the WXW hype show. It's a hell of a first round. Everyone's been paired up. There's no awkward clash of styles. This has been set up for, assuming there's nothing untoward happens, an absolute crack of the first night.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really well built one. I think the one that really sticks out to me is Akira versus Roman. I think that's going to be that's got all the hallmarks of being something very, very good. Very special. Likewise, I mean, Mike D versus Tristan. That's happened quite a few times, I believe, on various lower level sort of indies, and I think it's always exciting to see sort of somebody for the first time. I think Maggot versus Ahura is probably going to get the night one main. I'd be surprised if it didn't. Either night one main or first out, which
Yes, I
think
start or close for sure of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because that seems to be the case with Carat. It's always Carat night one. The first and the last match are always the biggest ones. And I think Tisha Richards. That's one for the dads. I think we'd probably say, wouldn't it? it's the Battle of the Wolves. So we're all going to be howling during that one, hopefully.
I lost it's for the yell.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a cracking first night. And I think there's a lot there, which a rematch of Masha versus Arbe.
I was commander for your GIFs.
Irie versus Metahan. I think that's one. That's almost the coupon buster in a way, because I think if you get that wrong, you get that you if you was to do an accumulator on it, you could probably get everything except for that one, because that's a 50-50 coin toss for me. That one.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of folks got Irie's like I said, the romantic choice, since he's going to step closer every year. And he is booked on some directory shows afterwards, but we'll see how that goes.
It's totally possible.
Metan won 2019. It's that to me is I could see that being the first half main event, just because Mark who I was expecting that to close out, but you've got an absolutely stacked opening night. We've also got an alternate four-way in the pre-show: Gulius Jr., Ilya Bloom, Fast Time Mudo, and Ilmarik. Again, all slot in well if there isn't the need for an alternate, but I think it's one of those, unless knock on wood, you're not going to be getting any dropouts like we have done years gone by, but Battlefield 16 really strong.
I mean, like the thing is that as we've seen with unfortunately with dry skew, anything can happen, and somebody can have something freak happen and they're off. And like I remember a few years back we had immediately in Tagfest, LAX had the issue where they had to sort of drop out the final night. So there's always a spot, but then in a way you could make an argument for somebody like this. Somebody could force their way in. I suppose that's the that was kind of. I've always thought if Heisenberg had been in the alternate four-way and had won that, you'd kind of half expect him to batter somebody off on the way to the ring and take his place, sort of thing. What's that?
He's been like Hector last year. He won the four-way, came in as to replace Alani on day 2, and the whole thing was in Stolnig. And that's now. I think we were both hoping for Hector and Dolnig to be background this time. Clearly, that's not happening. So hopefully, we're not too far off. But I know from the pre-show stuff, Anil Marek been playing up the whole Anil's not won at all from tape shows, at least since coming back. Maybe this is his first win, or maybe it's a humiliating loss. Who knows?
Yeah, he's not been on the best of runs at all. But delighted for Gulius Jr. though. I think he's a real star in the making. A very good friend of ours, Toby, did actually predict that he's going to win all of Carat and be the champion. So I'd love that to happen. Actually, I'm going to make a prediction. That would be a incredible thing to happen. So that's it's a exciting four-way potentially. I mean, it's I don't know, there's possibly reasons for it, but gone are the days of Satoshi being a lock-in for the night one alternate four-way. But he is in town. That's the thing. So
so nice transition to the Wild Ride Saturday, where everyone drops very early on. So if you want an early start, Cult Temple, it's in the car park of the Turbine Hall, pretty much. They've got Wrestling Cult's annual through shopping show,
which is a local promotion.
Yeah, 9:30 doors, bell at 10. If you've got any WXW ticket packages, this obviously ain't included. It's a different promotion. But
Yes.
tickets are available still, I think. When I looked earlier, they're still
I
on the
believe
website.
they're still on. They may even still be at a preview. They was offering like a price where it was a like a pre-order price, but that may not actually be a thing. As like an advanced price, but it may not still be a case. But yeah,
wrestling-cult.de if you're interested. And I think said last year it sold out, so no, don't leave the chance. If you're thinking of going get your tickets, don't get up early and find yourself there and sold out. You have to wait a couple of hours at McDonald's for the start of the WXW shows. But announced so far, at least what I could find off their Facebook, Emil Strochi, we were just talking about, challenging Mike D for the Wrestling Cult title. So this one not going to get much sleep. Women Cult title, Calypso challenging Amal, and the Wrestling Cult tag titles, the former champions Rivality, Ultima Sombra, and MBM. They won those belts last year, didn't they? It's like some TLC match.
Yeah, they won it last year, and then they brought the titles out at the showcase.
And they had to edit around announcing.
And I think they weren't particularly happy about that.
Yeah, they made them announce. So we're also the Wrestling Cult champions. That bit seriously didn't make VOD.
Yes. I don't think
they're challenging Diamonds and Rust, Aaron Insane and Chris Rush. I think they just won the belts as well. So a quick rematch. Of course, more to come on that. I think so. Norman Harris usually does Cult. Sense of Ultras on the poster too. These kind of things. There'll be a usual mixed bag. No, last few years has been like, names from the UK who's been on there just randomly that you wouldn't expect.
It's a funny little promotion. I think there's been a bit of criticism about some of their booking in the past, about some people they maybe have booked, but I kind of recommend, even if you don't hugely enjoy it, it's always worth doing it at least once. You get the odd. It's a bit like watching some people you maybe know in a bit more of a stripped back sort of environment. So it's a bit of an odd thing, but it is a, if you're up for doing everything, it's a worthy addition to your weekend.
And you may end up having to leave a Carnage match if you're going to make it over.
If Carnage is coming out and it's 11:45 ahead of the next match, ahead of the next show, if it's like 11:30 in the morning and Carnage starts coming out, just like cut it and run, because you're not gonna be out before 2:00.
So obviously after that, WXW now on French Showcase. So this will be the third one, I think, isn't it? We did one 2020, obviously last year, and obviously
so it was originally Wrestling Deutschland, and then it changed to And Friends in 2020, I believe.
And the second Wrestling Deutschland we no longer speak of. It's we will take that show to our graves, those of us who were there.
It's we don't speak of that one.
Yes, WXW now French Showcase. It's 11:30 doors, 12:00 bell time. We have 7 promotions putting up matches. A lot of titles on the line. It tends to be way of these things. So, Action from USA, they're promoting an Action Championship match. Adam Priest, who just beat Anthony Henry not too long ago, he's defending against Jaden Newman. So, that to me, I think is going to be sleep one. Again, they don't announce what spot is going to be. So, if that's one you want to be there for, you're going to have to get there for the whole show, unfortunately. APC from France, they're promoting Rick Salem defending the APC title against Kuro the Kid. Body Slam out of Denmark. Now, this isn't advertised as a tag title match, but it may well become one.
You'd assume it would be, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're Easy Lovers, Bam Bam Kvade and Eric Sabel, they just won the tag titles from Randus Pagner, Adonis Alexander. The show last weekend, remember right? The one we did the death match on. So this at the moment isn't listed as a tag title match, but it would not shock me if they did the quick return. ICW Scotland, we've got Leighton Buzzard, not the man, not the place, defending against Vaughn Vertical. That's the ICW World Heavyweight title. Passion Pro, they're putting on one of, I think, only 3 non-title matches. So we've got Maokai, Gullis Jr. and Ben Stuff BT against Maverick, Corey McRae, and Safar Amin, which is a bit of a smorgasbord in that one match.
Maokai is great. He's someone I'd like to see maybe get a bit out of there. He's great fun, Maokai.
He was on the early Passion Pro, wasn't he? Was he the one? No,
He's got
Maverick.
like a monkey gimmick.
It was Maverick who got through after Alani got injured. Yeah, and Maokai was like fill-in because Alani couldn't do night 2. So yeah, seen him a few times. He is pretty good for getting through experience.
And BT as well. BT is so you may know him possibly if you watch GWF. He used to work under the name Justin Wild. So that's you probably possibly know him that way. Back in the day when BT and because BT and Tihoni I think have worked as a tag team for a while. I remember watching both of them, and ever picking a winner, I thought that BT guy is going right to the top, and then Tihoni like a rocket, and
the
BT
new
only
generation one.
yeah, and BT only really making his debut sort of now, so it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, that's that. I think this one's good. There's a lot of potential in this one. Lots of really, really great people. Maverick we've seen a good few times now as well.
Conor McRae from over here, I think it's
Yeah.
at least
He's a
north
lovely
of where
guy.
I want to say.
Yeah, he's a WAW guy, I think, isn't he? Works a lot of the Euro indies. Yeah.
He's done Unlimited, a lot of Passion Pro, obviously GWF. He's done Ignite, DNA. Yeah, so SOS. A lot of promotions around England, but Q's a lot more European bookings.
Yeah, he's escaped the mustard curtain.
And Farmeen, who did the Balkan show up against Massimo Pesca that match, but thrown out cold, and Pesca at least got a pretty good reaction. Interesting choice putting a 6-man tag, but again, you're getting a lot more eyeballs on people who ordinarily wouldn't be on these shows, so get the experience while you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Pro Wrestling Österreich, they're giving us Lucifer Lohan against Martin Payne, which
Martin Payne, he's got a blue tongue. That's what I know.
I know Lucifer Lohan also wrestles as Ludi Lohan, and I think that's to try and Smasher giving us Charles Crowley against Psycho Mike, the third of a series of matches they've had, which that is what it's been promoted to do this, so it's not like we've just picked out Psycho Mike's over there. I think normally they send a few more folks from Smash, and literally it's only Mike and Sebastian Suave over at the moment. So
yeah, but I think that was the same last year, wasn't it? Well, we had Vertigo as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Progress. They have announced the last few days they're going to be giving us Spike Trevay defending the Progress World title against Danny Black in a match which you want to go by Progress results. Danny Black has beaten Spike before, but just don't look at the singles win-loss record. 7 matches, 7 different promotions, a lot of names and faces we don't ordinarily see. So nice little thick mix. Yeah,
and it's a little bit of this and that, and if you don't like certain things, you probably will enjoy other things. These shows are always a bit hard because 90% of the time we don't have a clue who any of these people are, or with the greatest respect, and they're coming in completely blind because there's no story going in for a lot. Well, there possibly is, but there's probably about 6 people in the entire venue who know the story if there is a PWO fan in or something like that. So it's it's always a bit of a tough. It can sometimes be a bit of a quiet one, but yeah, I think there's half. But I think last year, we saw in a way actually Psycho Michael really was the same, and Doris I kind of and LJ I can sort of think of from the Tagfest version. You can sort of get over, well, actually, in a way, possibly Crowley from last year with the Wrestle
Carnival stuff, yeah.
Wrestle Carnival match. He was popular with a certain, part of the crowd. So, if you can get out of that, then great. So yeah, it's always a bit of a, it's worth a watch, but take or leave a few things, I think sometimes.
So big change of styles then. So we're going from the smorgasbord of wrestling to the shoot style stuff for Ambition 14. 2:30 doors, 3 p.m. bell. It's the one afternoon tournament. So you've got Fuminori Abe, who was the finalist last year. Bobby Guns, who won it last year. Kevin Lloyd, who's been in 3 prior tournaments. Pastime Mudo, who hasn't been in before. Davey Richards Ditto. Lawrence Roman, been in 3 times before. Thomas Shire, debutant, and Peter Honey debutant. That's giving us some matches I haven't copied down into the notes, so let me quickly load those up. We have Bobby Guns and Kevin Lloyd, Thomas Shire against PhD Honey, and we also have
Richards
Fastan
versus
Mudo,
Raymond.
Noyabe, and Lawrence Roman Davey Richards, which then blind semi and finals. Icarus against Patrick Bork on the card. So Bork's trainer at the Fight Club Gelsenkirchen. We've got, as you talked about before, the WXW Academy / trainer against the German Mixed Martial Arts Club trainees. So that's going to be an interesting style battle, for want of a better word. Just given Bork's actually got an MMA background, and I've seen on Icarus's Instagram, he's starting to go down that road as well. So
yeah, it's a and I think likewise Icarus is he's not somebody I would want to take lightly in a shoot situation either. So I think I think this is fascinating. Yeah, it's a fascinating match. It's exciting to see somebody take their sort of first steps into the world of pro wrestling, even if it is sort of a semi-shoot style thing. But if Patrick Bork lands on his feet and runs for it, we could have something very, very exciting with this.
And speaking of exciting, the super fight that got announced Monday, Axel Tischer against Luke Jacobs, and yeah.
That's
I mean,
nice.
Luke had a hell of a weekend. I know he's not fingers crossed. I know he got concussed against Will Ospreay at Rev Pro the weekend. Fingers crossed, that recovery goes well. But if he does make it through to this one, that's going to be a hell of a tasty, super fight. This would be last one before the pandemic. Him and Ethan Allen as the next generation one. 3 years later, look where he is now.
Well, yeah, I think that weekend he had at Carat was the star-making performance for both of them lads. And I think we've been very unfortunate with Ethan Allen. Obviously, is he retired now? I think he's not sure. I know
he's stepping away because it basically knee injury just having the year out. He did the match with the New Japan UK show back in October. Knee flared up and he's taken time off. I think it's one of those things, at least for now, it's stepping back so you're not around it, almost trolling you for a better words, and see where things are in a year's time. But Christ, I've never had an injury that's been that severe, and if you have two back-to-back knee injuries, especially when you're seeing going around shows and seeing your mates pushing on, and you're there,
on the crutches,
on crutches or doing rehab. Yeah, I don't blame him, and obviously wish him the best for recovering whatever comes next for him. But yeah, it probably be a call I would make as well. Just not follow it, but just not be there live. It's at least not as much as you were.
Yeah, exactly, and as I said, it was a real star-making performance, and this is a hell of a test. I think Tischer is probably the best they can offer, short of putting Jacobs in the tournament, which I don't know why they haven't, but beside the point. That's a card for lots to sink your teeth into.
If you like the ground-based wrestling or not, it's usually got one match where you've got folks knocking lumps out for each other, and you're not getting the two Japanese fellas headbutting each other silly this year, but I'm sure someone will come close and fill that gap.
Exactly.
And then after Ambition, we've got, I guess, USB Championship Saturday. It's night 2 of Carat, 6 p.m. doors, 7:30 p.m. first bell. And so you've got your Carat quarterfinals and 3 big matches, go from bottom up on these. House of Hungary challenging for the tag titles against Sense of Ultra and Igor Blanc. Ava Everett, Baby Allison, Eva Kolaski challenging Alice Inc. for women's title. And then the big one they announced Monday, Job versus Korean Norman Harris against Bobby Guns. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a stipulation sort of thrown in on Monday during the live show, the live stream. Obviously, there was a pre-recorded interview, might add, effectively between where the two of them sort of traded words for 5 to 10 minutes, and yeah, effectively the gauntlet was thrown out where Bobby's like, well, if I beat you, you have to come back to be a catcher, be a wrestler like me, back in the shorts. And Harris is saying, well, if I'm putting something on the line, you have to too. And then it's the suggestion is obviously Guns is going to be putting his career on the line. Now that's a very I think it's a troubling thing to sort of see. It's I think we've said multiple times that Harris is not a good sporting director at all. You hope for a positive outcome from this, but it's awfully terrifying that somebody with the level of Bobby Guns is potentially gone. I mean, he is advertised for shows afterwards, but that's possibly that can be amended. Posters can be changed.
Or they could even play the whole, well, you've got to fulfill your obligations and that kind of thing. For me, the one, I'd say red flag, but the one thing that sticks out like a sore from this entire weekend, where's Levaniel?
Yeah, Levaniel's not on there. Levaniel's not on there, so that is possibly, you hope, you do get a bit of shenanigans. You'd like to think that, Harris has screwed Levaniel over for, the entire year. What better way to embarrass the boss than taking his job away on the biggest night of the year? So of his carrot, might he say, it was his personal carrot, as he sort of said in the interview. So yeah, it's there's major implications with that. It potentially redirects the course of the entire year. I always, it's no secret I hold Guns in a very, very high esteem, and I feel like he's always, it looks like this could be his year. I always bet on him to be near the title eventually most years, because he's good enough. He's one of the best in one of the, as it was said, is he's one of the best technical wrestlers Europe's produced. If not this century, at least this decade. At least ever. So there's a lot riding on that, and there's not that terrible place in North London which we all sort of worry about now. So that's there's that, I suppose. It's just I don't really know what to think, really. It's just a bit of I've had a year to
thing.
Sorry.
So my way for the whole vinyl thing was the last year with Yearn, the whole getting in each other's way kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously they did the whole thing with Levaniel, Bobby Gunn, sorry, back in last year, where he lost at the anniversary show when they did the do-over. I mean, to me, this would scream Bobby Gunn's winning, but I just can't help thinking, is the milk-fed rice pudding going to be sour?
Well, I seriously hope not. I don't know how much longer I can deal with Harris as sporting director, to be honest. It's yeah, you'd hope that they have something nice in store.
Yes, for women's title, went over Alice Inc. defending against three former champions, Ava Everett, Baby Alice, and Eva Kolaski. Ava's whole thing since she came back over this third run has been she wants to be a two-time champion. She's got shows booked after this, so you'd think, I guess I don't say the obvious result, but all the signs be pointing that way, you'd think, at least.
Yeah, I mean, or Eva. Well, I think actually that you could make an argument for all four of them, really. I don't think Alice Inc. has really landed the way anybody would have really liked. Not really done a lot. I still think that Alice shouldn't have won the title as soon as she did. She should have. In a way, I think if she had come into this show as the champion who's knocked everybody out every single match, I think we'd be going, yes, we want Alice Inc. In this match. But I think you can make an argument for Kolaski sort of doing one over because she's smart. She's smarter than Ava. She's smarter than Alison. She's sneaky enough, I think, to get past Alice Inc. Baby Alison, I think there's you could make the argument for her being sort of cunning enough maybe to get through that way. Ava Everett, I mean, likewise, she's got the cunning edge to it, but it's I think this is a wide open match, and I think you could make arguments for all four of them.
And of course, we have the tag title match, House of Hungary against the French Doors. It's kind of a tag league final, obviously, with Dreisker in place of Dover. I mean, these two teams have had a lot of matches in the past going back to the close set days. The tag title tournament first round back in 2021, of the early the early Wheel of Wrestling shows. What we call now French Doors knocked out the Arrows. We also got the win back and then won the titles, but now I somehow don't think we're going to be getting the from Carat last year, the balaclavas and the dancing as we got night 3 of Carat last year with these guys.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they may be a bit beyond that. Yeah, I think this is. I'm really excited for this one. I think, although it always does seem a bit of a case of, I mean, I suppose they are reliable and they are justifiably probably the best, one of the best tag teams in the world. It kind of does end up, let's stick the belt on the Arrows again. It's kind of a little bit like that, isn't it?
I think with the Arrows, again, it would kind of fit into Amboss now. Obviously, we don't know what was planned with Dreisker before he got hurt, but Lawrence is the shotgun champion. And it's almost the stereotypical, big group of baddies with all the belts kind of thing. Not to say we couldn't do it, depending how long Dreisker's out for, or we do it without the world title in the mix. But it wouldn't surprise me. Bear in mind, last year the Arrows, gave another team their moment, and now they're due their crown and glory, I guess. But I mean, just those 3 matches alone, there's going to be a lot of eventful stuff. I know. Was it like? I know we did in 2020 with Absolute Andy's up the tag shuffle gauntlet.
Yeah.
Was that night 2 or night 3 last year when we did the random gauntlet?
The gauntlet thing says to be night 3. I mean, I hope that's on again because that's the best part of Carat.
The random ass wacky teams coming out.
Yeah, the strange bedfellows, as we'd say.
And that's night 2 of Carat. Sunday we've got Wheel of Wrestling 42. So it's literally got our name on it, but we aren't booking any of this. I think we said last time, Charles Crowley, Leighton Buzzard, Psycho Mike, Adam Priest, Ilya Bloom, Jaden Newman, Gullis Jr., Jacob Crane, Calypso, Becca Amal, and Elmaric. Last time moved on a poster, matches you'd hope be announced either next week or I think normally they tend to announce at least 1 or 2 on the Saturday of Carat just to
they announce something to whet the appetite usually, and then they'll just, the rest will be a combination of the people who are on the card basically.
Again, this will be stuff taped, in canon for for network for WXW's YouTube. So this isn't, it's not a throwaway show. This will be building up that bridge between Carat and 16 Carat Gold Revenge a few weeks afterwards. So not entirely a dead loss. And then night 3 of Carat, this is where your semis, your finals go. Likely other stuff, maybe the tag shuffle gauntlet. Doors 4, opening bell at 5, usually wrapped up by about 8, half 8, and then everyone bugs off to Alex or somewhere like that afterwards.
Yep, everyone. You have your nice teary goodbye at the end of it.
The confetti, you have security cleaning you out when you spend too long for merch tables.
Yeah, you always find yourself a little bit melancholic walking out, and you're like, oh well, that's it for a few months.
Yeah, so Hell Rock going down. We always undersell these, but it's like it's super intense for those 3 or 4 days, and then it hits you like a ton of bricks. Especially when you get back home.
Yeah, it's if you've not got the Tuesday booked off work, I'd recommend you do.
Unfortunately, I do not have the choice this year.
Oh no.
Been looking to get the days I have booked, but I know was it Sarah Farrell and Alan Farrell, they tweeted a few things last night. I know it's going to put you on the spot, but just a couple of tips for folks who are going. So buses, if you're staying, the NH, I've noticed a few more than normal staying there this year. Weather isn't looking too great, so if you don't fancy traveling and being an absolute soaking wreck, the Kurtz Trekker tickets. I've also the short trip bus tickets. if you're going from outside VNH to the Albert Haller station, I think it is, on the trams,
Where the Schillerkabuki is.
yeah, those will get you to the Lipperfeld station, which is right outside Turbine Hall 1, which is what you need to get to this year. Don't use the fly vac unless you want to stop at the McDonald's, otherwise you're going to have to go up and big long walk around with a car
Over the
park.
bridge, yeah.
If you want to go to the Central, get on from the Central and you stay in VNH, do the walk to the Hauptbahnhof, that little island on the right by the train station. If you get the same ticket, it'll save you a few euros each way. I guess we said before, for bonds it's €6 for each of the evening shows, which you can now pay by card, so you don't need to carry notes and coins if you don't want to. But the prices did go up last year, so it's like 4 bonds for a pint or something like that now.
Yeah, it's not 3. It used to be able to go in with €6 and come out with 2 pints, but now it tends to be go in with €10 and come out with 2 pints and 2 extra bonds.
Or being a pretzel, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that is a thing that is required, and I will also flag this up if you are doing wrestling golf on the Saturday morning. That also has a €6 thing, even though it's at 9 in the morning. So you will need to spend €6 at least to get out of the venue. So yeah, that's an
extra charge there.
Yeah, they instead of paying them before you go in, they give you a card that you have to, which they basically put a hole punch through for his number of euros you've done, and then before you leave, you have to queue up and pay to leave. So it's a bit of a nightmare.
Bear that in mind if Sandra's music is just hitting and you want to run out.
Yeah, exactly. If you're staying, if you're staying not at the NH, if you're staying at the Melia thing, you don't really have to worry about any of that. You can walk everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're staying at, there's the Select, is it?
Yeah, it used to be for McHugh. It's next to the next to Nippies.
No, if you're staying at this the Select or the ex Mercure, easy peasy. You're just a quick walk away from that. From
the same for the Super 8, the Holiday
Super 8, you just basically have to walk about 5 minutes to get to the trip, and then from the trip it's 10 minutes to the tea hall anyway. So yeah, so I mean it's all in a very sort of compact area really anyway. One thing I would say is obviously if you've never been before, especially if you're by yourself, just do be very careful around places like the train station. Be careful walking around sort of at night by yourself. There has been occasional incidents, not trying to put people off, but just so you do keep your wits about you, especially if you've never been before.
Yeah.
The most thing to do when you do go to Oberhausen is you have to visit Schillerkabuki, which is a giant metal snail, and you have to pay tribute to the thing. This is good advice, isn't it? Yeah?
Oh yeah, sacrifice. Yeah. Last time we didn't do it, everyone pulled off the show.
Yeah, so you have to pay tribute to Schillerkabuki. It's advised to do that at the start. I always go and see him. If you don't know what we're talking about, just if you Google Schillerkabuki Oberhausen, you'll find it on the Wikipedia page. And Ian's now going to start googling. Apart from that, I mean, it's if you have any questions, I mean, me and Ian, we've spent months of our lives in that city now. At this point, I think possibly I'm knocking up towards 3 months of my life just in Oberhausen. So it's we know our way around, and we're always discovering new things. But it's if it's your first time, you're in for a treat, and if it's your 10th time, then you know what to expect.
Back of old friends, and you're right, I did Google it, and today I learned Oberhausen is twinned with Middlesbrough. What the actual fuck?
Yeah, it's twinned with Middlesbrough and Zaporizhia in Ukraine. One is a bombed out hole, and the other one's in. Anyway,
I'll let you say.
Yeah, so that's kind of the preview, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, it's the kind of thing. You'll see people going to shows. If you've bought festival passes, and I think we said this festival tournament passes, there's an FAQ on the website, but basically in a circle, the car park for the show of absolute latest. As you're going in, you can exchange them for your QR code for a wristband. Means you just have to show your wristband, get your bag checked when you go in. That's it. But otherwise, yeah, one last one because I know this always catches folks out. So for Inner Circle on Thursday, download and install the DB Navigator app on your phone.
Oh yes, 100%. Yeah.
That means it'll give you the train timetables because for whatever reason the German railway network doesn't show every station now on their timetables. Although Gelsenkirchen's a lot more notable than Essen-Zollverein Nord, which obvious reasons. But what means if you buy on the DB Navigator app, you can pay with PayPal, so you're not paying any conversion charges. It also means you don't have to validate your ticket because you bought the specific train. So if you're not doing it, if your train ticket's got a date on, you don't need to validate. I don't know if there's any penalty if you validate accidentally, but there is if you meant to and don't. So if you
I've
can,
been told off for it, but they've not really done anything. It's
again,
better
you'll see
it's
folks
better to be
cycles
grumbled
around.
at. It's better to stamp it and be grumbled at than not stamp it and end up with a fine.
Especially with your bank account,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like I say, you'll see plenty of us around. I think I'm going to be making a bit more of an effort to post on the Instagram, especially if Twitter's as flakes it has been the last few days. But you can follow on Instagram at BackBodyDrop. Mike, you're at Mike Kilby on everything.
I Mike Kilby on everything. Yep, and and you'll be able to follow my wonderful adventures in Oberhausen.
So give us a follow, and if we don't see you in Oberhausen, we shall see you, I guess, late this month for recaps of everything that went down.
Recaps, exactly. And
safe journey over, mate, and we'll see you at 16 Carat Gold.
Yes. Cheers.